Paris, the city of love and timeless beauty. Tonight, let us stroll through the enchanting streets of Paris, a city that has captivated the hearts of poets, artists, and dreamers for centuries. With its cobblestone alleys, world-renowned landmarks, and romantic atmosphere, Paris is more than just a destination. It is a state of mind. Let this dreamy journey transport you to a place where every street corner holds a story. A historical tapestry, where history whispers through every stone. Paris, often called La Ville Lumière, the City of Light, traces its roots to the ancient settlement of Lutetia, established by a Celtic tribe known as the Parisii in the 3rd century BC. The city flourished under Roman rule, becoming an important trading post. However, it was during the medieval period that Paris truly began its transformation into a cultural and political centre. By the 12th century, Paris was home to the University of Paris, one of Europe's most prestigious institutions. The rise of the Capetian dynasty solidified the city's status as the heart of France. Over the centuries, it witnessed major events: the French Revolution, 1789, the Napoleonic era, and the rise of the modern republic. Each era left its mark, shaping Paris into the iconic city we know today. A stroll along the Seine, where the river flows with stories of romance. Our journey begins along the Seine, where elegant bridges arch gracefully over the water, their reflections shimmering like jewels in the moonlight. The Pont Alexandre III, completed in 1900, is one of the most opulent, symbolizing Franco-Russian friendship. Adorned with golden statues and Art Nouveau details, it is often considered the most beautiful bridge in Paris. Along the riverbanks, bookstalls known as bouquinistes line the quays, offering vintage books and prints. The tradition of bouquinistes dates back to the 16th century, creating an open-air literary market that feels like a living museum. Notre-Dame de Paris, an ode to resilience and Gothic grandeur. A short walk from the river leads us to the iconic Notre-Dame Cathedral, whose construction began in 1163 during the reign of King Louis VII. This Gothic masterpiece took nearly 2 centuries to complete, with its famous twin towers and rose windows becoming symbols of medieval architectural excellence. The cathedral has witnessed historic moments, including the coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte as emperor in 1804. Though it suffered damage in the 2019 fire, restoration efforts are underway to preserve its legacy. As we stand in its shadow tonight, imagine the echoes of Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame and the chime of its massive bells, which have rung during times of war and peace. The Latin Quarter, where knowledge and art intertwine. Crossing the bridge, we enter the Latin Quarter, named for the Latin language spoken by students at the Sorbonne University, founded in 1257. During the Middle Ages, this district was a hub of intellectual and artistic activity, frequented by scholars, philosophers, and writers. Today, its narrow, winding streets retain their medieval charm. Cafés like Les Deux Magots and Café de Flore have hosted literary giants, including Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. Let the ambiance of dimly lit bookstores and art galleries transport you to an era where revolutionary ideas were born over cups of coffee. The Louvre Museum, a palace turned treasure trove of art. Just a short walk along the Seine brings us to the Louvre, the world's largest art museum. Originally built as a medieval fortress in the 12th century by King Philippe Auguste, the Louvre was transformed into a royal palace by King François I, who laid the foundations for its collection by acquiring works from Renaissance masters. In 1793, during the French Revolution, the palace was converted into a public museum, symbolizing France's dedication to making art accessible to all. Today, it houses over 35,000 works of art, including the Mona Lisa, the Winged Victory of Samothrace, and the Venus de Milo. As we walk through its grand galleries, let the glow of marble statues and oil paintings transport you to centuries past. Eiffel Tower, a beacon of light. The heart of Paris, shining through the night. Our next stop is the Eiffel Tower, a structure that has become synonymous with Paris. Designed by Gustave Eiffel for the 1889 World's Fair, it was initially met with criticism from Parisians who called it an iron monstrosity. However, it quickly won over the world and became a symbol of innovation and modernity. As we ascend to the top, imagine the 19th century crowds marveling at the engineering feat. From above, the city stretches endlessly, its monuments glowing like stars. The tower's twinkling lights, added in 1985, continue to enchant visitors every evening. Montmartre, the artist's haven, where creativity flows through the cobblestone streets. Our journey continues to Montmartre, once a rural village before it became the epicenter of the Bohemian movement. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, artists like Monet, Van Gogh and Picasso lived and worked here, capturing its charm on canvas. As we climb the steps to the Basilica of Sacré-Cœur, completed in 1914, the white domes shimmer under the night sky. The basilica was built as a symbol of hope and peace after the Franco-Prussian War. Below us, Montmartre's streets buzz with life as musicians, painters, and poets keep the artistic spirit alive. A sweet ending at a Parisian pâtisserie, where every bite is a taste of heaven. We end our journey at a traditional pâtisserie, where the aroma of freshly baked pastries fills the air. Paris's culinary history is intertwined with its cultural legacy, and its pâtisseries have perfected the art of indulgence. We savor a pain au chocolat and a crème brûlée, the caramelized sugar crackling beneath our spoons. These desserts, rooted in centuries-old recipes, remind us that in Paris, food is not just sustenance, it is art. The spirit of Paris, where love, art, and history converge. As our journey through Paris comes to an end, take one last look at the city's twinkling lights reflected in the Seine. Paris is more than its landmarks. It is a feeling, a melody that lingers long after you've left its streets. Tonight, let the spirit of Paris inspire your dreams, filling them with romance, creativity, and the timeless beauty of a city that has captured hearts for generations. Sweet dreams, dear traveller of enchanting places. London, a journey through time and charm. Let us stroll through the streets of London, a city where history and modernity blend seamlessly, and every corner tells a tale of kings, queens, poets, and adventurers. With its iconic landmarks, cozy pubs, and riverside views, London is a place where dreams are built upon centuries of legacy. Close your eyes and let this journey whisk you away to the heart of England. A historical tapestry, where the past meets the present. London's origins date back to Roman times, when it was founded as Londinium, around 43 AD. Strategically located along the River Thames, the city quickly grew into an important trading hub. Over the centuries, it became the capital of an expanding empire, witnessing pivotal moments such as the Norman conquest in 1066, the Great Fire of 1666, and the coronations of monarchs in Westminster Abbey. As we explore the city tonight, imagine the echoes of medieval knights, the grandeur of Victorian elegance, and the resilience of Londoners during the Blitz of World War II. Each chapter of its history is etched into its streets and monuments. A walk along the Thames, where the river reflects centuries of change. We begin our journey along the River Thames, its waters shimmering under the moonlight. The iconic Tower Bridge, completed in 1894, stands proudly with its Gothic towers and bascule walkways. Watch as the bridge gently rises to let passing ships through, a reminder of London's maritime heritage. On the opposite bank, the modern silhouette of the Shard pierces the sky, symbolizing the city's continual growth. Nearby, the HMS Belfast, a World War II warship-turned-museum, rests peacefully on the river, preserving tales of bravery and resilience. The Tower of London, guarding secrets and treasures. A short walk brings us to the Tower of London, a fortress steeped in history and mystery. Built by William the Conqueror in 1066, the tower has served as a royal palace, prison, and treasury. It is famously home to the crown jewels, including the dazzling imperial state crown and the 530-carat star of Africa diamond. As we wander through its stone corridors, imagine the whispers of prisoners, including Anne Boleyn, who met her tragic fate here. The yeoman warders, or beefeaters, continue to guard this ancient site, their presence a link to the city's medieval past. St. Paul's Cathedral, an architectural masterpiece reaching for the heavens. Our next stop is the magnificent St. Paul's Cathedral, designed by Sir Christopher Wren after the Great Fire of London. Completed in 1710, its iconic dome is one of the largest in the world and has dominated London's skyline for over 300 years. Step inside and you are enveloped by grand arches, intricate mosaics, and the soft glow of candlelight. Imagine the solemn prayers that have been whispered here during moments of national reflection, from royal weddings to funerals, including that of Sir Winston Churchill. Climb the narrow staircase to the Whispering Gallery, where even the faintest whisper can be heard, on the opposite side. From the Golden Gallery at the very top, London spreads out like a tapestry below, its history unfolding in every direction. Westminster Abbey, where kings and poets rest. No visit to London would be complete without a stop at Westminster Abbey, a Gothic masterpiece with over 1,000 years of history. Coronations have taken place here since 1066, beginning with William the Conqueror. Today it remains a symbol of continuity and tradition. As we wander through the Abbey's hallowed halls, we pass the graves of monarchs and the memorials of great poets and writers in Poets' Corner, including Geoffrey Chaucer, Charles Dickens, and Jane Austen. The Abbey has witnessed royal weddings, most recently that of Prince William and Catherine Middleton in 2011. The Houses of Parliament and Big Ben, the heart of British democracy. Crossing the street, we arrive at the iconic Houses of Parliament, officially known as the Palace of Westminster. The Gothic Revival architecture is breathtaking, with its intricate carvings and towering spires. At its heart stands Big Ben, the great bell housed within the Elizabeth Tower. As we stand on Westminster Bridge, listen to the chime of the clock, a sound that has marked the passing of time for generations. The lights reflecting off the Thames add a touch of magic to this historic scene. Covent Garden, a cosy haven where charm and culture collide. Our next stop is Covent Garden, a vibrant district known for its street performers, boutiques and cafes. In the 1600s, it was home to London's largest fruit and vegetable market, and today it is a cultural hub with theatres, shops, and the Royal Opera House. As we wander through the cobblestone piazza, the scent of roasted chestnuts and freshly baked pastries fills the air. Musicians play violins and cellos under the covered market, their melodies creating a serene backdrop for our evening stroll. A visit to Buckingham Palace, the home of royalty. We make our way to Buckingham Palace, the official residence of the British monarch since Queen Victoria's reign. The palace's grand facade, illuminated by soft lights, exudes majesty and elegance. As we stand before the gates, imagine the changing of the guard ceremony, with soldiers in red tunics and bearskin hats marching in perfect synchrony. The palace has witnessed countless state occasions, including jubilees and royal births. Cozy pub by the fire, where stories are shared over warm drinks. To end our evening, we step inside a traditional London pub with low wooden beams and a roaring fireplace. The comforting aroma of fish and chips and mulled cider fills the air. We find a quiet corner and settle in, listening to the hum of conversation and the occasional clink of glasses. London's pubs are more than just places to drink. They are gathering spots where stories, both ancient and modern, are shared. The spirit of London, where history, resilience, and charm converge. As our journey through London comes to an end, take one last look at the city's glowing skyline. London is a city of contrasts, where medieval towers stand beside glass skyscrapers, and ancient traditions coexist with modern innovation. Tonight, let the spirit of London inspire your dreams, filling them with adventure, wisdom, and the timeless charm of a city that has weathered the ages. Sweet dreams, dear traveller of historic wonders. Rome, the eternal city of ancient wonders. Tonight, let us travel through time to Rome, the eternal city, where ancient ruins stand as monuments to a glorious past, and narrow streets hum with modern life. From emperors to artists, Rome has been a cradle of civilization, culture, and beauty for over 2 millennia. As we walk through its storied streets, let its magic transport you to a place where history lives on. A journey through history, where the rise and fall of empires echo. Rome was founded in 753 BC, according to legend, by the twin brothers Romulus and Remus, who were raised by a she-wolf. From its early days as a kingdom, Rome expanded into a powerful republic and then an empire that dominated much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. The city witnessed the rise of emperors such as Augustus, the architectural achievements of Trajan, and the military conquests of Julius Caesar. Even after the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD, Rome remained a center of influence, becoming the heart of the Renaissance and later the seat of the Vatican. Its layers of history are preserved in its ruins, churches, and piazzas, each telling a different story of its enduring legacy. The Colosseum, an arena of glory, where gladiators fought and history was made. We begin our journey at the Colosseum, one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Rome. Completed in 80 AD under Emperor Titus, this grand amphitheatre could hold up to 50,000 spectators. Imagine the roar of the crowd as gladiators entered the arena, their fates determined by their skill and the whims of the emperor. As we walk through the ancient corridors, the moonlight casts soft shadows on the weathered stones. The Colosseum stands as a reminder of Rome's grandeur and its people's love for spectacle and entertainment. Feel the cool breeze as you step onto the ancient floor, where history whispers through every crack. The Roman Forum, a walk through ancient civilization, where politics, religion, and daily life intertwined. Just a short walk from the Colosseum lies the Roman Forum, once the center of public life in ancient Rome. Picture merchants bartering goods, senators debating policies, and priests performing sacred rituals. The Forum was home to important temples, basilicas, and marketplaces, making it the heartbeat of the city. As we stroll through the ruins, imagine the grandeur of the Temple of Saturn and the House of the Vestal Virgins. The ruins may be weathered, but their presence evokes a sense of timelessness, a connection to a world where emperors once ruled. The Pantheon, a temple to the gods, where architecture meets divinity. Our next stop is the Pantheon, a masterpiece of ancient engineering and design. Originally built in 27 BC by Marcus Agrippa and later rebuilt by Emperor Hadrian around 118 AD, it was a temple dedicated to all Roman gods. Its massive dome, with a central oculus open to the sky, remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. As we enter, the cool marble underfoot and the soft echoes of footsteps create a sense of reverence. The oculus above allows moonlight to filter through, casting a soft glow on the marble walls and statues. Today, the Pantheon serves as a church and a resting place for notable figures, including the painter Raphael. Trevi Fountain, a wish for good fortune, where dreams are cast into the waters. We make our way to the Trevi Fountain, one of the most beautiful fountains in the world. Completed in 1762, the fountain features a grand Baroque design with statues of Neptune, Tritons, and mythical sea creatures. The sound of rushing water creates a soothing ambience, perfect for a late-night visit. Tradition says that tossing a coin into the fountain ensures your return to Rome. Close your eyes, make a wish, and listen as your coin splashes into the pool, joining the dreams of countless visitors before you. Piazza Navona, a hub of art and life, where beauty and culture converge. We arrive at Piazza Navona, a lively square built on the site of an ancient Roman stadium. The square is home to 3 magnificent fountains, including the Fountain of the Four Rivers by Bernini, which represents the major rivers of the world: the Nile, Ganges, Danube, and Rio de la Plata. The piazza buzzes with life as artists paint portraits, musicians play soft melodies, and couples sip espresso at open-air cafes. The scent of roasted chestnuts and freshly baked pizza fills the air, inviting you to pause and take it all in. The Vatican City, a spiritual heart, where faith and artistry unite. Our journey would be incomplete without a visit to the Vatican City, the world's smallest independent state and the spiritual center of the Catholic Church. St. Peter's Basilica, designed by Michelangelo and Bernini, is a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture. As you enter the basilica, marvel at the grandeur of its domed ceiling and Michelangelo's Pietà, a sculpture that embodies grace and sorrow. Step outside to St. Peter's Square, where columns encircle the space like welcoming arms. Imagine the gatherings of pilgrims and the history-changing speeches delivered from the papal balcony. The spirit of Rome, where ancient wonders inspire eternal dreams. As our journey through Rome comes to an end, take one last look at the city's illuminated monuments and cobblestone streets. Rome is more than its history. It is a feeling, a place where past and present coexist in harmony. Tonight, let the spirit of Rome inspire your dreams, filling them with adventure, artistry, and the timeless beauty of a city that has stood the test of time. Sweet dreams, dear traveler, of ancient wonders.